guys, officially welcome to day 2 of AA, and today's topic is internal control. I hope everybody know what was the topic that we're gonna do today, and that you exception, came with that particular expectation. So, just quick recap for yesterday's lecture. What was the reference of diabetes patient yesterday? What did we try to understand by giving diabetes patient as an example? I want to see how many of you actually remember that particular thing. Okay, control risk. Right. And how many of you did actually watch the other two videos that I suggested you on the YouTube? Because they were super helpful. Did anyone, also feel that it was much better for them to attend this questions after this session? Was there any sort of improvement? Because I told you need to see 4 things here and 3 things here. So it should be a tick, tick, tick that I wrote 4 things here and 3 things here. So somebody, practiced it. It's okay, Alia. Even if you don't know Hindi, I will be communicating 90% of the time in English only, and I will be translating Hindi whenever required. Okay, so it's okay. Even if you don't know, you can attend the session. Otherwise, it's okay. Now let's start with internal control today. And internal control will be a very heavy topic because students go wrong a lot, okay? And trust me, I have checked over 100 copies where I was actually looking at answers. I was looking at each and every answers of internal control. Voice is still not clear, guys. I guess now it is better because I have turned off my other screen. So it should be better right now. Everybody else, is it clear now? Because I don't want any confusion regarding the audio right now. Okay. Now the main objective of this particular lecture will be, see, I will be first of all explaining the internal control and test of control. What is the exact meaning of it? How it is relevant to the auditor? How questions will appear in the exam? And what are the common mistakes that are done by the student? And finally, we will be solving the question as to ma'am how we have to use these techniques in the paper. Okay. Otherwise, it would become very irrelevant, right, ma'am? You will just keep on telling the technique without the question solving. Then it becomes just a theory for us, right? Now, let's move on to the crux of this chapter. Every time you study, no matter when you are actually studying, whether, in internal control, in drills, in substantive procedure, make sure you understand the crux of the chapter. What do I mean by the crux? Is that how can question actually appear in the exam? You should know directly. Ma'am, इससे ज़्यादा तरीका तो हो ही नहीं सकता. There is no other way the question can come, if I know all the crux. So first of all, internal question can come with an MCQ, right? Which is bit rare when it comes to AA. But yeah, examiner actually tells us that MCQ can cover any part of the syllabus. So why not internal control? You should be ready for the worst, right? Then there comes a direct question, which is again 4 to 5 marks, where you can actually be asked about the direct question. Ma'am, what direct questions can come? What is the limitation of internal control, inherent limitation, the components, explain the different types of, components that actually associated, how auditor documents the internal control of a client. So these are the few direct questions that can actually appear in your paper. These are around like 4 to 5 marks, which may or may not appear in your attempt. Okay, so don't be overconfident, ma'am. We'll do that. We'll, cover it. Don't worry. Now, the most important is the internal control, where you can be asked 3 types of questions. Ma'am, what are they? First of all, you will be asked about deficiency. You will be told to give a recommendation, and then finally test of control. To make this simpler, sometimes what they tell you, you find a deficiency and you write a test of control. Another question that can appear is where you will be told that this is a direct control, and then how will you recommend, how will you test that particular control? Okay, so these are the few questions in which the question can be asked in your paper. Now, when it comes to internal control, there are again two category of this. A single system appearing in your, guys, please mute yourselves. Everybody please mute. Uh, Mute yourself, please. Okay. A single system can appear and the whole question will be based on it. For example, sales system appears in your question and the whole system, whole everything is based on it. Now, the multiple system, where the question will actually give you multiple system. For example, your payroll system, your non-current assets, everything, but simple, small paras. So I hope everybody has practiced, different kinds of questions. Since we are on the marathon stage, we are in the last few days of a revision. So any of the times that you have seen and I missed out in while covering this, come on guys, anybody who has seen different types of question where which I did not discuss in my category. Okay, Zoha is, the most participant student. I am telling you guys who will be most participating during this session for 3 days. You'll get a good surprise from me. Yesterday, there were so many students that were active. I don't see any same name today. How? Where are you guys sleeping? Didn't have your coffee today? Okay, in case you feel, you want to add a direct message to me instead of writing it on the group, you can do it. Okay, you can just choose direct message. I will be only able to see your messages there. Okay, that's something that you can also do while communicating throughout the session. Okay, now there are 6 systems in this particular chapter. Fine. What are those systems, ma'am? Can somebody tell me the 6 systems that we have studied in the this chapter? And those are the systems which are usually asked. I am not saying they will only be asked, but I'm saying they are usually asked and they are the questions that come in the paper. Right. Sales, purchase, inventory, payroll, then what else? Two. Somebody is not mentioning that one. Which is that? You guys mentioned everything. One, the cash system, guys. So usually there are 6 systems, okay? The sales system, the purchase system, the cash, the non-current, the payroll, and the inventory. Okay. So in case you are preparing for the internal control, these should be on tips. Okay. This is this. If inventory comes up, I need to be aware before the inventory count, during the inventory count, after the inventory count, payroll, these pointers should be in my mind. Okay. So while preparing, these 6 should be on your tips. Fine. I'll show you my notes today. They are a bit different today. I will tell you how. So I have just covered what is the main objective of the lecture and how the questions will actually appear in your paper. What are the total number of systems that are usually asked in your question? Now, what is the meaning of internal control? Guys, I'll tell you, literally in my, live sessions when I take the classes, I covered each and every system in detail in a single day and I covered a lot of questions for each system. But this will definitely not be possible in today's lecture because I want to keep it a short lecture. I don't want to, make it a burden for you guys. So we will be covering 2 systems and we will actually solve one question. Okay. Now let's understand the meaning of internal control. I will be giving such examples where you will be, saying, ma'am, सोते सोते भी पूछ लोगे ना तो याद रहेगा. It's like even if you ask me at 4 a.m., I will actually tell you, ma'am, what is the meaning of internal control and TOC. Okay. I personally don't have the habit of reading definition, explaining you each word, and then I'll translate it for you, and then you will understand. Usually, I don't do this. I simply give lot of examples. Okay. Now, let's understand internal control. Let's understand the meaning of control first. Okay. For example, who was the most active? Zoha. Okay, Zoha one day calls me, Ma'am, I need a phone. Could you please order a online one for me? I'll be like, Zoha, you can do that by your own, right? You can just check on Flipkart, Amazon. Ma'am, no, I don't have time, ma'am. I am busy in my work. I work in, top four. I work from 8 a.m. to straight 11 p.m. Ma'am, I don't have that much time. Can you please do that for me? Now, Zoha, who is the user of that phone? Am I the user or she is the user? Come on, quickly in the chat section. Who is the user here? Zoha or me? Okay, right. So who is the user? Zoha. But who is placing the order? I'll place the order. Now what I'll do? I'll check Amazon, I'll check Flipkart, I'll check Chroma. I'll see every website. I'll see the color preference. I'll see her budget. I'll see what size she likes. Does she like big phones or small ones? Okay. After a few days, doorbell rings and my mom shouts, "This must be your order only." So I run on the door. I see this is my order, which is actually not mine but Zoha's. So I just open that order. I see whether it is the same color. I ordered Apple, dude. Didn't I? I should not get Samsung phone in hand. Okay. Is it color same? Is the model same? So then finally I pay that delivery man, and here the transaction gets over. Okay. What happens? Zoha is the user here, but I am placing all the controls. I have checked everything. I from website, from delivery man, from payment that I did the correct payment. I am the one doing every job for her, and she was the user. Everything gets understood. Anything complex you guys didn't understand or want me to repeat? This is simple, right? I did not use any complex language. I did not use any complex example. This is a day-to-day thing, right? So what I need to understand from this case, that the user is somebody else and the controls being implemented is somebody else. Controls, what do I mean by controls? The checks that everything that I'm doing, right? So this was the whole message of this particular exam. Understood? Anyone who didn't understand? Guys, come on, trust me. This is going to be super interesting when I'm relating it with the case. Okay? But case वाला जब ही समझ में आएगा जब तुम्हें ये वाला समझ में आया होगा. Okay, okay. Okay, done. I see 4 to 5 people active. Otherwise, everybody is sleeping, I guess. Okay, now let's take an example of the case. Okay, let's take an example of company now, because I need to understand from the company's perspective. Ma'am, this is, you actually explained it from very friendship sort of perspective, and हमें company के perspective से समझना है, ठीक है? ये let's go to the basic factory. Okay, let's say me Ruchi Goyal, have a huge business of making shirts, and I have a factory where workers are working. Okay, so they need a cotton, right? So they are the users of that particular cotton. Agree? So who is the user? Who will be the using who will be using my cotton? The workers, right? They are the user. Now, ma'am, one day they, run to the factory and they see there's no cotton, ma'am. Cotton finish. Now, where will they go? They will go to warehouse department. They will tell them, please issue us cotton. Give us at least 1000 kg of cotton. Okay. Warehouse had 2000 kg, 1000 gone, 1000 left. Okay. Understood? Very easy. 1000 left with the warehouse and now it is gone. Now, does warehouse has a mind? Do they have unlimited resources that next day when they will come, they will, have a shower of cotton overhead? Of course not. Ma'am, how nonsense talks you are doing right now. Okay. They will go to purchase department. Hey, hello, mister. We are getting short of the cotton. Please order us cotton. Otherwise, next time when the whole, everybody from factory will come, we will not be left with any cotton. Please order from us. Now, purchase department will buy cotton for the warehouse, right? Where the cotton will be stored. Will they choose like any mini ponky? I will choose the supplier. Can they do that? I will run out of losses, guys, if they can do like this. Of course not, ma'am. They will not. They will have a supplier list and they will call suppliers who can deliver at the best price and the best qualities, right? So this is the what purchase department will do, right? Purchase department will get a quotation from different suppliers and then finally the best suppliers will be chosen depending upon the quality and the price they go. Done? Everything getting sorted till here? Okay. Now finally the order is placed, right? And it reaches to the warehouse. Okay, so after 10 days, truck comes from Tamil Nadu and finally reaches to our warehouse. Ma'am, is everything complete? कुछ तो pending लग रहा है and something is pending. Guys, don't use complex language. This is, I'm not telling you any, bookish language. Okay, payment, who will pay? Was it for free? No, it was not for free. Okay, you need to pay. And who is responsible for the payment? Your accounts department. Okay, so did you understand the purpose of each and every department in a company? Right? Everything sorted. Who is doing who? मतलब कौन क्या कर रहा है सबको क्लियर है? कोई मतलब ही नहीं यहाँ पे. I haven't used even a single bookish language. This is just a simple example to tell you what is internal control and test of control. Okay. Now, ma'am, there's a question in my mind. Like, why all these things are happening? Why can't you give power to a worker? Just call a supplier, pay them on ground, and you will be done. Why you need a different department? Why you need accounts department? Why you need purchase department? Why you need somebody else to get a quotation for you? Why are you being living in such a luxury life? You can give a right to the worker and tell them, please, hello, sir, can you please send me 1000 kg of cotton? No. Why? Because workers doesn't have that authorization, right? Workers cannot place order, they cannot pay. Similarly, warehouse cannot select a supplier, they cannot order, right? Purchase department cannot pay. And when it comes to account department, they have the authority. So all these controls where I am not giving authority in free to everybody, to each one person, I am doing all this as a company to prevent myself. Prevent from what, ma'am? From fraud. Okay. I want different person performing different duties in order to segregate each and every duty to different individual to prevent that fraud and to prevent my asset. I have millions invested in that company, ma'am. I need to prevent myself. Otherwise, they will be gone in 2 days. Okay. So controls is nothing but these things that have been placed by the organization or the management, right? So, ma'am, book mein to matlab it's very complex if you read the book language. Let's see what book has to say. Internal control is the process designed, implemented, maintained by TCWG management to provide a reasonable assurance to. So, ma'am, आपने भी तो यही बोला ना मतलब in order to achieve the objective, I need to design, which I did. I need to implement. It's not that I designed and I slept over, I went for the Goa vacation and I need to monitor. I need to see if they are working or not, right? So these were the internal controls. right? Everybody understood the meaning of internal control as to why they were important, why, how it actually exists in an organization, and why the companies are investing so much their resources, time, salary, sabki salary. Do you think purchase manager will not take more than 40,000 a month? So all these resources are getting deployed because they want to protect, they want to reduce fraud, segregation of duties, safeguard their asset, everything else. You know this bookish language. The whole purpose should be clear. Ma'am, okay. Now I got the role of management here. What is the role of auditor now? Auditor का क्या लेना है? मतलब auditor क्या करेगा? हम क्या करें? ठीक है, कंपनी में हम आए हैं, we are the auditors and we will audit the company. Okay, this exists. Very good. Control risk low. You told us yesterday. What auditor will do? Auditor will test these control. Are they actually operating effectively? Are they actually being implemented? So this is nothing but test of control. So test of control may have a complex definition in your book, but it's nothing but when auditor will check the effectiveness and the efficiency of these controls, whether they are operating effectively in an organization or not. Okay. Ma'am, but how will they do it? Can somebody tell me how will they do it? I don't want any bookish language. I need lame, in the simplest language, what auditor will do. Guys, you can write it in Hindi as well, because I know Hindi and I will understand. How will you ensure that, all the controls are working in an organization? I know you guys are in the last 1 week of your preparation, so, this answer will definitely observation, inspection, inquire, analytical procedure, ma'am. और क्या होता है? Inspection, AEIOU, मैम सब कुछ है ना? ठीक है. So auditor has 3 ways in which he can do it. Okay, guys, I'm not writing too much today because I want to treat it as a story. Auditor can do first of all the easiest work, that is तमाशा देखो. मैम तमाशा हमारे इंडियंस का तो फेवरेट काम है. तमाशा देखना इज नथिंग बट ऑब्जर्व करना. सो वील ऑब्जर्व दैट यस एवरीथिंग इज वर्किंग नाइसली. वेरी नाइस, वेरी नाइस. ओके, गुड गुड. ठीक है. The second is the auditor's favorite work. Can somebody tell me what is auditor's favorite work? You guys are auditors now since you are studying AA. What is our favorite work? खुद से टेस्ट करना. ओके, क्वेश्चन करना. वेरी गुड. Anything else? Okay. Our favorite, our first love is documents. We love documents. Every time we need document. For each and every transaction, we choose it as a sample. We need document. So whenever the auditor enters in an organization, everybody is annoyed. Oh my God, he will ask for 1,000 documents now. So as an auditor, your first love should be documents. Okay. So it is the inspection, right? We will inspect the documents. मैम डॉक्यूमेंट्स, आपने तो पूरे सिस्टम में एक डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं बोला, आप तो सिर्फ डिपार्टमेंट ही समझाते रह गए. डॉक्यूमेंट कौन से आए? ठीक है. तो हम क्या करते हैं, धीरे धीरे समझते हैं कि हम कैसे डॉक्यूमेंट्स इंक्लूड कर रहे हैं, एज इन मतलब कहाँ कहाँ हमें डॉक्यूमेंट्स की जरूरत होगी, एंड हम साथ में करेंगे. नाउ फर्स्ट, warehouse purchase department. How do you think which document will exist in this particular transaction? When warehouse will communicate to the purchase department that we need 1,000 kg of cotton. Requisition. I need full name. Now, since you are in your last week of the revision, I need full name. What is that? Purchase requisition. Right, right. MRN is the correct answer. Material requisition note. So, in that particular thing, we will be mentioning as to what we need, which department needs, how much we need. Okay. So, warehouse say purchase department, first document. Now, purchase department will actually issue dash to different suppliers. And purchase department will receive dash from different suppliers. What is it? Quotations. Quotations, tender. Yeah, tender can be another word. Now that supplier is finalized, company will issue, purchase department will issue one more document. What it is called? Purchase order. So do you see how many documents are involved while this? Okay, now goods are received after 10 days in my warehouse. Which note? Which is that note? The goods received note, right? Now accounts department will pay. Will pay. What is that? Pay slip, right? The invoice, the pay slip, right? Proof that I have paid, right? So do you see the favorite work of an auditor is done now, which is the inspection of the documents, right? Guys, understood? So these are nothing but the test of controls which an auditor is doing to check the effectiveness and the efficiency of an control as to whether they are operating, in the organization running smoothly or not. Fine. Now the third method that we can discuss is another thing where the auditor will have trust issues. We all are Gen Zs, we all have trust issues, and we are the future auditors. So we don't trust anybody. We would like to do one procedure. What is it? Somebody knows? Okay, that can be another answer. Obtain the written representation, but reperformance. We don't trust anybody. We don't believe you guys. We will reperform everything. We will issue your GD and we'll see everything is working. Okay, so the reperformance is another way that auditor can obtain the evidence. Now, guys, just tell me one thing. Why auditor is doing this? Why do you think auditor is performing the internal, test of controls? To check three things. How controls are applied in an organization, whether these controls are consistent or not, and by whom they are applied. For example, the auditor, the company tells that in purchase department, only the purchase manager will, finally approve the supplier. But the clerk is approving. So really, was he given the authorization or not? So do you understand the whole story? We will go 10 minutes prior to our lecture as to what we were discussing. We were discussing two things, meaning of internal control and the test of control. Did you guys understand in the literal meaning as to what is done in the company and what is the literal meaning? Keep all definitions and bookish language aside. You need to understand. Now attendance time. How many of you are listening? I have 25 participants currently and 1, 10, 10, 10, 11, 11. ओके ये सब ऐसे ही लिख रहे हो या मतलब सच में सुन भी रहे हो? हाँ, proxy guys, no proxy please. This is not your DU lectures. No proxy is required over here. Nobody's keeping a track. See, there is no control over here at who comes or who doesn't come. Okay. Now, let's not, divert to the topic. This video needs to go to the YouTube. I need to be very serious. Now, who is responsible for these internal controls? Is it the management? Is it the auditor? Guys, mute. I love listening to myself. I don't like to listen to anybody else. I am my own, favorite. Okay, yeah. So everybody is correct. Ma'am, we have to be correct. We have paper in 10 days, ma'am. Come on. Okay. So let's study where are we in the notes, like where are we standing in the notes. So I am not discussing easy things, guys, because easy things are generally not asked in paper. And if they are, you guys already know. So while internal controls are implemented, everybody gave same answer that we need to safeguard our assets, we need to comply with the laws and regulation, we need to see the effectiveness and efficiency of operations. What are the components? This is a direct question that can come and it is given directly in the Catalan and BBP. So I didn't even feel the need to discuss it. You can go and read it. Now examples, we discussed a lot of examples and how does one document client system Everybody knows. So this is another type of question which can be asked in your direct question. Ma'am, how will they be asked? They will ask you what is the ways in which the auditor can document the client system, explain the advantages and disadvantages. Now let's come to the inherent limitations that I am talking about as to what are the inherent limitations of internal control. Now, ma'am, will internal control eliminate the risk to 100%? Is it possible that control can actually eliminate the risk to 100%? मैम फिर तो सभी कंट्रोल अप्लाई कर लेते हैं ना, मतलब फिर तो ऑडिटर की जरूरत ही क्या थी? रिड्यूस होगा ओनली. ओके ओके. अच्छा, अब मैं बताती हूँ कॉमन मिस्टेक. I'll tell you. Now, when questions are asked in your paper, okay, when I actually told students to attend the question which was direct control and test of control. So there was a control given and you need to test it. Okay. Now, few answers were literally there will be no, no theft in the company. There will be no risk in the company. Is it possible? I know in the exam, this may sound again, one more time, I may sound very foolish, ma'am. How can somebody write no risk, no theft, no misstatement? But do you guys realize in exam pressure you can do this mistake? Guys, mute yourself. Mute. Okay. So when the question comes, we are not using word no. What word will you use? Reduce. Okay? Reduces the risk. Right? Guys, please mute yourself. I can't just share mute. Mute. Yeah, I am trying to do that. Wait. Okay, I did it. This is again once more new thing for me. So yeah. Is my screen visible, guys? Sorry for the disturbance in between. It's a small request. Please don't unmute yourself. Okay, ma'am. Now we know that where was I? I just break the flow. Where was I? Yeah, I was telling the common mistake in the direct control. You cannot use the word no. There's no risk now since the company has implemented control. Okay, there will be a reduce. So you cannot eliminate. Now, just tell me one thing. As an auditor, can I place 100% reliance now? Don't company has such strong controls. I have, I have seen them, I have observed them. Fine. Now I'll go on a Goa vacation for 3 months since company has such a strong control. What I need to do, ma'am? Now I'll take the money and I'll go to Goa. Can I do that? Yes, no, yes, no. Somebody who says yes, ma'am, I would rather enjoy Goa. Please don't do that. Only 3 people, no, sorry, 6 people think that it's no. Okay, rest 19 people think it's yes. Okay, you can go to Goa. I will consider that. Okay, rest 16 people are saying yes, and whosoever has texted no is okay. Okay, now I cannot play 100% reliance on it. Why? Because of the inherent limitations that they have. Can somebody tell me what are the inherent limitations of the internal control? First of all is collusion. What is the collusion? Collusion is like cost versus benefit, human error, collusion, your control lapse and breakdown. So these are the terms, these are the terms that you have already heard. But collusion is a word where many students get confused and they don't write it in the paper. Let's say collusion, what happens? I am given a power, I am given to, record the transaction. The other person will approve it. So we both become friends, we collude, we just, say, I'll write fictitious entries, you just approve them. So this is a collusion. Okay? Everybody understood the meaning of collusion? Okay. Okay. Now, ma'am, you said, oh wow, such a nice thing that yes, it is same. That's what I said. No, that two people are joining in order to commit fraud, right? So when you actually, as a management, given responsibility to two individuals, right? So you said that two will participate, two will, perform different duties, and they will not commit fraud. But what they did, they became friends, they became colluded, they came together, and finally they committed a fraud, right? So that is nothing but the collusion. Okay. Now, ma'am, you are confusing us. You said auditor cannot play 100% reliance. Okay. So what auditor should do? मतलब auditor करे क्या? पानी में डूब जाए? छपाक छपाक, ठीक है? So auditor क्या करेगा? वो समझो, ठीक है? Understand what auditor will do. Now, there is internal controls in an organization. He will test control. Okay, how he will do it? I explained throughout. Now, if the results are positive, ma'am, what do you mean by positive? Corona positive, COVID positive? No, yeah. If the controls are working effectively, if auditor sees that yes, it is working effectively, so my substantive procedures will reduce, right? Now, if the controls are negative, if the test is negative, if the results are negative, by negative results, what I mean that they were not operating effectively. You know what? Management has designed one control 3 years back and they have never monitored. They have never seen पीछे मुड़ के कि क्या हो रहा है. होने दो जो हो रहा है. ठीक है? They have never seen what is actually going in that control. Was it actually implemented or not? Then what will happen? What will happen? What will I do as an auditor? Come on, guys. My substantive procedures will increase. I need to put a lot of effort. My team needs to put a lot of effort and we will do the increased substantive procedures. Okay. Now, the first part of the lecture is over here, where I have actually told you the meaning of internal control and test of control. And I have also explained you how the internal control effectiveness would impact my control risk, which we discussed yesterday, and how they are related to the substantive procedures. Okay. Now, what is the impact? This we have already discussed. If the controls are high, of course, less procedures, then less completion process. It will be done on a faster basis and low manpower, and vice versa in other case. Now, let's go back to the very important part of this particular lecture is how to write good answer. Before that, I would like to see few messages as to did my techniques help you yesterday? Did any one of you attend the question and see that those techniques were effective or not? Because as a student, you are very clear now that I need write to I have to write 4 things here and 3 things here. Okay. See, if you are not able to attend day 1, it's gone. Now it's gone. You missed it. No, it will not be possible on YouTube now. So don't ask that again, please. Okay. Now, how many of you want to, get the how to write good answer techniques? This is very important, especially when it comes to last minute preparation that is just 1 week or 10 days away. This is very important. In classes, you may know that I do this exercise in detail with a lot of practice questions, but again, time doesn't allow here. So we will just discuss the techniques. Okay. Now, let's discuss the first category of question, which is deficiency. मेरे को क्या हो गया? Recommendation and test of control. Okay. Now, how do I need to explain the deficiency? First of all, I need to identify from the case. I will explain it and I will write an impact on entity. Now, ma'am, impact on entity. What do I need to think while I'm writing this? I need to think 3 things or maybe 4. What are they? What is the impact on the cash, the company's goodwill, company's reputation, the employee goodwill, customer goodwill? So basically goodwill, cash, profit, revenue. So this is how you think upon the entity impact. Okay. Please, huge request. Don't write impact on financial statement. Okay. I don't know half of you will write impact on financial statement on deficiency. Please don't do that. We need to understand what is the impact of impact on entity due to that deficiency. Now, here's a quick question for all of you. In the example that I just explained, what if, sorry, now, what if there will be no purchase department? Let's say there is no purchase department or the purchase manager is on holiday. So what will happen? What is the deficiency there? Come on, guys, what will be the deficiency? I don't need any bookish language. Just explain. What if there is no purchase department in the organization? Customer goodwill. You reach to the conclusion directly. Yeah. So you will first of all identify that there's no purchase department in the organization. You will explain. Explain, guys, explain. Explanation. If you will miss out explanation, you will miss out half marks. And losing half in audit will make a huge, okay? So you will explain. Since there is no purchase department in the organization, there are chances of stockouts because warehouse के पास माल ही नहीं जाएगा, supplier से माल कौन मंगवाएगा, ठीक है? Now, what will be the impact on the entity? Since there will be stockouts, the customer's orders will not get fulfilled. Simple. Did you guys understand? Yeah, that can be another aspect. If there would be no purchase department, maybe unnecessary goods being ordered, huge quantity, bad quality. Again, quality gone down, customer goodwill gone. Okay. So this is how. So this is how you will explain. Okay. Explanation to the point is very important. See, if you write both the possibility, it's sounding that you are being confused. Just write one and finish it off, na? Matlab extra marks thodi na milenge. You will not get extra marks. Just write one aspect and move on. Okay. Now recommendation. What actually needs to be done? So, अगर purchase department organization नहीं है, there is no purchase department in the organization, then one should have it, right? Why? Then you can tell in order to avoid the stockouts. Okay, so recommendation, what actually needs to be done? Then TOC, it's same as yesterday. What was yesterday, ma'am? Audit response. Does anyone remember what were the 3 things that will need to be written in the audit response? What were those 3 bullet points? If you guys have, attended yesterday's lecture. Procedure, procedure, document, and purpose. The same procedure, document, or information, and purpose. For procedure, you can use AEIOU as a short form. Okay. So this is the short technique that you can follow in your paper as to ma'am writing the answer. Guys, everybody understood this, the whole how to write a good answer thing. This is the first category. Now, the second category of the questions that come is where the direct control is asked and you are actually told to test the control. Okay. Now, things will change a bit here. Okay. Are direct controls the weakness of the organization or the strength of the organization? Are direct control the strength of the organization or the weakness? क्या वो उसकी कमजोरी है या क्या उसकी वो मजबूरी है? वाह क्या बोला मैंने. ठीक है. So सब कह रहे हैं कि उसकी कमजोरी तो बिल्कुल नहीं है. ठीक है. तो वो strength. ठीक है. Will it have positive impact or will it have negative impact? यार मजबूरी थोड़ी ना है. Positive, very good. So हम आंसर देते हुए भूल क्यों जाते हैं? मतलब आई नो, मतलब literally I have seen few students literally forget that this will give a positive impact, right? So don't consider it to be a negative point that this will increase the payroll cost in the organization. Guys, no. Direct control is something strength of the organization. This is something positive about the organization. Okay. So first of all, remember that. Again, same technique. First of all, you will identify it and then you will explain it and then you will write an impact on FS. That is positive. Ma'am, FS क्यों घुसा दिया? Same, again, procedure, document, information and purpose. Now, how will you explain it? For example, example is very important. मैं हर बार example ही देती रहती हूँ. ठीक है? क्या एग्जाम्पल लिया मैंने? नोट्स में नोट डाउन भी नहीं किया. सुनो, एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं. लेट्स से द रिकंसिलिएशन, लेट्स से बैंक रिकंसिलिएशन इज परफॉर्म्ड बाय द एंटिटी every 1 month. Okay, so this is like reconciliation being performed and they are being reviewed. Okay, so this is the identification. How will you explain it? How will you explain it? Strength की तरह सोचो. For the explanation, always think as a strength. Now, how will you explain it? Yes. Since the reconciliation is performed on the timely basis, if there would be any error, it will be detected on timely basis. Right? What will be the impact? If bank reconciliations are performed on timely basis, what will be the positive impact on FS? Less prone to misstatement. In which account? Let's be more specific. There's a possibility that your cash balance, this reduces the risk of the cash balance being misstated. So did you guys understand how you need to make a direct control and explain it? Yes, it reduces. It will not eliminate. Please remember, it will never eliminate. Okay, it will only reduce. Fine. Now, what are the other common mistakes, guys? Why I just keep on telling you mistakes? Because I don't want you to make the same mistakes. Okay, so learn from others' mistakes as well. This is in the exam pressure that things like this happens. Okay, now few students will start mentioning the accounting treatment. They will start mentioning accounting standards. Not required. Okay. First of all, think from the company's perspective, as in whenever you are writing the deficiency, think about the company's perspective in order to write the impact on the entity, like say, as I mentioned, revenue, profit, goodwill, cash. Okay, without explaining, your answer will sound very vague. Okay, so explanation plays a huge role in your answer. Now, in case you have attended yesterday's lecture, I have used word chocolatey question. This is, where I actually test that whether the student is learning the concept or they are actually understanding the concept. Okay. Now there's a chocolatey question for everybody. How many copies an entity should issue for the GDN and for GRN? I need answers. How many copies for GDN first of all and GRN second? Okay, 4 for GDN and how many for GRN? 2 copies of GRN, no Sagar. 3 copies of GRN. Now, when it comes, very good, guys, very good. See, a 2 came as an answer. So, don't cram the words, okay? Just remember, just understand the logic. Who all will be issued a GDN? Yes, I am explaining. Patience. GDN. Which all department needs to receive the copy of GDN? Goods dispatched note. गाइस एक बार में लिखो चारों. ऐसे मुझे पता नहीं चल रहा कि कौन क्या लिख रहा है. मतलब राइट 4 इन सिंगल सेंटेंस. ओहो, शॉर्ट फॉर्म देखो, SD WH. अलग है भाई. Accounts, finance, warehouse, and customer. Customer sales warehouse है, customer sales warehouse, invoice warehouse finance. तो बेसिकली सब यही कह रहे हो कि कस्टमर को तो जाएगा कि हमने आपके नोट्स डिस्पैच कर दिया, हमने आपकी गुड्स डिस्पैच कर दिए, ठीक है। तो कस्टमर से सब अग्री कर रहे हैं, ठीक है। कस्टमर से सब अग्री कर रहे हैं कि जीडीएन कस्टमर को जाएगा, ठीक है। फिर वेयर हाउस से जाएगा कि वेयर हाउस से माल निकल चुका है, दैट इज द गुड्स डिस्पैच नोट। देन अकाउंट्स डिपार्टमेंट के पास जाएगा कि गाइस गुड्स डिस्पैच हो गया, फटाफट से इनवॉइस बनाना शुरू करो। मतलब सॉरी गाइस, सॉरी इंग्लिश, दिस इज हिंदी लेक्चर आल्सो, सो समझो मेरी भावनाएं, ठीक है। सॉरी ओके। कस्टमर यू अग्री, अकाउंट्स डिपार्टमेंट यू अग्री, वेयरहाउस यू अग्री। नाउ द फोर्थ इज सेल्स department. Why do you think sales department needs to, get a GDN? Why sales department needs to record the needs to receive the GDN? Simple. Guys, this is very simple, yeah. Yes, to monitor that the sales are complete. Otherwise, the sales department will not have a track as to which order was completed and which order was not completed. Any unfulfilled order would lead to the customer goodwill being impacted. Hence, it is very important for the sales department to get the JDN in order to check that yes, this order is complete, this order not complete. Okay, so to monitor the sales. Fine. Now GRS. How many copies? Everybody said three. Three. Which department? ये सही है, बिल्कुल आंसर लिख के बैठा था। मैम कब पूछे और मैं कब एंटर करूं? वेरी गुड वेरी गुड। परचेज ऑर्डर क्यों लिखा है? परचेज डिपार्टमेंट लिखना था, ठीक है। इतनी गलती माफ है। तो इट हैज टू बी टू थ्री, दैट इज अकाउंट्स, परचेज डिपार्टमेंट एंड वेयरहाउस। वेरी गुड गाइस, you guys are intelligent that I can actually understand. Okay, can we take a 3 to 5 minutes break where I can stop the recording for 5 minutes and then we can, continue after 5? Because I am left with the last section where I will be discussing one system in detail. I'll show you few insights as well. So wait, let me stop the recording. Now, let's finally continue with the last topic where we will be discussing about the payroll department. Okay, I'll just share my screen once again since it's showing some issue. Is my screen visible, guys? Okay, yeah. Okay. Thank you for the break time. And now let's go to the payroll department. We will be discussing in detail. And I have seen a lot of questions on this in the exam kit as well. I hope everybody must have attended this, right? In one or two questions like bronze that we will be discussing by the end of the lecture, we will see how this actually comes up in your paper as well. Okay. Now, what is the objective of the payroll system? Like, why the whole company is, developing internal controls around it? Like, what is the whole objective behind the payroll system? First of all, guys, understand payroll department includes both wages as well as salaries. Okay, so you should think about both the perspective, that is the employee and the factory worker both. Okay, so wages and salary. First of all, they are paid at correct rate, right? If they will be overpaid by an organization, it would lead to the increased payroll cost, leading to the losses to the company. And if they will actually be underpaid, what will happen? Employee goodwill will be impacted, right? Because employee will be dissatisfied that, dude, we worked for so many hours and you are paying at this rate. No. Okay, or maybe sometimes there are state legislation that needs to be followed, that this is the minimum rate that you need to give to your employees. Okay, so the first objective of this control is that we are paying at the correct rate. Okay, right people? What do I mean by right people? That let's say I have 100 people in an organization. I am paying only to those 100. I am not leaving anybody in my pay, and I'm not adding, I'm not paying to the 101th company. Ma'am, how is it even possible? For example, if I have a list of the employees, let's say if the internal controls are not in their place, there may be a name of Mr. A who doesn't even exist in the organization, but he is being paid, right? So he is nothing but, we use the term fictitious employees, right? Ma'am, and how can not pay to somebody? For example, list. Let's say again list. I have 3 employees. Now, internal control was not in their place. So what I did, instead of paying it to B, I paid it to D. Okay? इंटरनल मेरी मर्जी, मैं ऑथराइज कर रहा हूँ. आई एम द वन हु इज रिकॉर्डिंग, आई एम द वन हु इज ऑथराइजिंग, आई एम द वन हु इज पेइंग. Okay, I'll pay it to ADC instead of ABC. Okay, so the internal control, that is, I need to ensure that right person is paid. And third, at right time. Okay, so sometimes if the controls are not in their place, you are paying your employee after 1 month, after 2 months. So again, everybody will leave their organization. Everybody will say, we need to work in a company where I am paid on timely basis. I need my salary on 30th. Okay, so this is the whole purpose. This is the whole objective in this particular system. Understood? Come on, yes, no, yes, no. I am about to end the session in another 20 minutes, guys. Yes, quickly, yes, no, yes, no. Okay. Okay, now, how questions actually come up in this particular area? Now, guys, when I'm discussing this area, this doesn't mean that only these questions will come. There's no, ma'am told only 4 categories, only these 4 categories will come. No. There could be, this is an exhaustive list. I analyzed every question. I see what was a common pattern being followed, and hence I came up with it. Okay. Now, first would be appointment and levers. Everybody saw this category where the question tell you there are different departments in the organization, the payroll department and the HR department, right? Has anyone, seen this question? You must have done this question if you are doing enough practice. Okay. So first of all, we will discuss about the appointment and levers. Then we have master data file. I can guarantee nobody has seen master data file. Somebody सिर्फ word रटा हुआ है कि हाँ एक word होता है master data file. अगर वो आए तो ये deficiency है और ये चिपकाना है. ठीक है, किसी को पता नहीं है कि वो होता क्या है. किसी को पता है? किसी ने देखा है? मतलब ऑनेस्टली बता रहा है, किसी ने गूगल पे जाके सर्च किया व्हाट इज मास्टर डेटा फाइल, हाउ डज इट एक्चुअली लुक्स? किसी के पास टाइम नहीं है, मेरे पास भी नहीं था. मैं टीचर हूँ, अब मेरे पास है. ठीक है, तो दिस इज अ कंटेन्स ऑल डेटा मे बी. ये देखो ऑल डेटा, पहले तो ऑल लगाया, फिर एट द एंड मे बी भी लगा दिया. ठीक है, व्हाटएवर. नाउ मास्टर डेटा फाइल आई विल शो यू. ठीक है, मैं बताती हूँ क्या पर्पस होता है, कैसे होता है. ठीक है, so this is the reason I picked up this. Now the calculations. अरे यार, sorry, hindi, calculations. That was a joke. You don't have to understand. You did not miss out any important information. Chill. They are laughing only. Now calculations. Okay. When it comes to calculations, I need to be ensured, I need to place controls in such a manner that my calculations of the pay is correct. Okay, I am paying them the correct amount, I am paying them at the correct rate, and the clerk himself is not doing all the calculation, because clerk is just, I would say 1 month baby, right? He is just 1 month baby. He will do many mistakes. He will just break a lot of things, just like a small baby. Okay, he needs to be supervised by mom and dad. Similarly, a clerk in a payroll department needs to be supervised by a manager or a senior. Okay, he should not be given all responsibility. Otherwise, he will break everything just like a baby did in their homes. Okay, and finally, the payments. Okay, now everything being calculated, everything being recorded, everything being done, the final purpose, the payment. Payment needs to be on timely basis to the correct bank account, no fictitious bank account, and everything. So these are the four broad categories which are usually asked in the payroll department. Anybody else who has noticed any other category? Because I don't see much anybody who has seen any other category and would like to mention and I forgot? No. Let's not wait for the answers. Now let's move on to the first category that I have discussed is payroll HR duties wo main karwa rahi hu. I am inventory. I am discussing about the payroll department. Stick to the payroll department. I am discussing only payroll department. No inventory, nothing. Okay. Now appointments and leavers. Let's discuss this first of all category. Now, you need to understand two things here. First of all, HR department and payroll department are two different departments in an organization. What all duties do you think HR department will perform? They will, they will recruit, yes, they will train, they will do the onboarding process, they will take interviews. In case I need to do any development programs for my employees, I will do that. Right? Human capital is mainly the responsibility of HR department. Right? Bonuses. Okay, I need to do the bonuses. They need to be done by HR department. Right? So everything related to the employee development, recruitment, capital, onboarding, everything needs to be done by HR department. Now understand the importance of payroll department. Payroll department is responsible for any answers? They are responsible for the calculation. They will see how many hours you have worked. For example, if I take about factory workers, have they worked over hours? कुछ overtime workers होते हैं जो काम करते हैं, ठीक है? What are the deductions need to be done? Any tax deduction? Any leaves they have taken? Oh my God, I'm hurting myself. Any benefits they need to be given? Wages, salary. So basically, the calculation, if you are seeing the calculation, the payment part is done by the payroll department. Okay. Now I have, taken a very beautiful screenshot. You can even take it because I will not share this one note. See, HR system, the roles, payroll system, calculation, payment, tax office, and transfer. Do you guys understand the difference between departments now? What is the role of the HR department? What is the role of the payroll department? Okay. Now see why students are confused in sometimes they think the bonuses and the increase are the responsibility of payroll department. No, they are not the responsibility of payer. These are decided by HR, get approved by board of directors, that is BOD approval, and finally they tell it to payroll that this is the bonus that we are offering to our employees. Okay. So please understand the difference between these two departments. Now, first of all, how the questions can appear in your paper. First category, HR department was overloaded due to the work pressure in an organization, and hence payroll department was involved in the recruitment of employees. Guys, tell me the deficiency. If payroll will do the recruitment instead of HR department, what will happen in an organization? Just imagine. मतलब ये तो यही हो गया ना, अगर मैं किसी को लेट्स से अगर मैं पापा को बोल दूं कि पापा सब्जी बनाओ, मेरे घर पे लाइक मेरे डैड कुक नहीं करते हैं, ठीक है, और अगर मैं बोल दूं उन्हें कुक करो. So obviously not qualified members will be recruited and there's a lack of segregation of duties, right? So the employee that would be employed by the payroll department will obviously not have that quality of that knowledge. Okay, so there is a deficiency in that particular thing. In case payroll is doing that, okay, I auditor as an auditor understand that sometimes the company goes through ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. In case payroll department is doing that, there has to be an HR supervisor, there has to be somebody from HR department. They need to see, they need to review who they have employed. Okay, they should be trained, right? So in case such things are happening in the organization, the one step ahead you should think, ma'am क्या कर सकते हैं उसे सही बनाने के लिए. ठीक है, so this is the first category when payroll actually performs. No, payroll cannot do it, but there are sometimes given in the question that payroll is doing this particular thing. So yeah, payroll cannot do it. Just do not confuse yourself. Okay. Now, so this is the first category of question. Now, the second category of the question is HR, a senior from HR or a clerk from HR approves the bonus and mails it to the payroll. So what is the deficiency here? If he is the person deciding the bonus, if he is one who is, emailing it to the payroll department without any approval, then of course your payroll cost will shoot up because there was no proper authorization for that bonus. There was no set criteria. There was no set criteria that, yes, this is how the employee should be given bonus. Okay, I did not have any written criteria from board. Okay, then the third category, which I will discuss later as well, that payroll clerk is performing all the calculation and no review has been done. So there is a possibility again, if you give all the responsibility to the clerk without any review, there would be a chances of error, increase in payroll cost, overpayment, underpayment, leading to the employee goodwill. Okay, so this was the first category, that is the appointment and leavers. There are certain other questions that can come up in this particular category, but this is something that I've noticed. Now, let's see the master data file. Master data file. If everybody ready for this particular thing? आई नो, पता नहीं सबको अलग ही एक्साइटमेंट हो रही होगी कि मैम ठीक है, मैं पहले वो बताती हूँ कि आखिर हम कैसे करते हैं. लेट्स से ये एक एम्प्लॉय है रुचि, ठीक है, इसके हम सारा डेटा डालते हैं मास्टर फाइल में, ठीक है, एंड लेट्स से इसके जो अमेंडमेंट्स होती है, अमेंडमेंट्स क्या होगी मैम, एक बार डेटा डाल दी तो डाल दिया ना, नहीं भाई, उसका रेट, उसका प्रमोशन, उसकी सारी डिटेल्स, ठीक है, वो अमेंड होती रहती है. तो ठीक है, सॉरी, अमेंडमेंट्स. ओके, सो अमेंडमेंट्स needs to be done over here. Now, amendments, if a clerk do it who doesn't have any authorization, then this amendments will not be, as it was, this would be incorrect authorization. Obviously, let's say somebody wants to take out of revenge. Okay, what they do, they will change data in their master file. Okay, so no, clerk should not be given authorization to access it, to change the data. Now, another log of access is created in few of the organization, which says whosoever do that amendment, whosoever do that changes, you record here. Okay. For example, on 31st March, the data was changed by whom? Okay. And what data was changed? On 1st April 2024, again, another employee's data was changed, by whom and what changes were done. So at the end of the month, this log is reviewed by the senior as to were there, significant changes in the data and who all did it, did they have the authorization. So log of access is created as to what all changes are being made. And secondly, we should not allow the clerk to make any sort of amendments. Okay. Now I'll show you the master data file. This is the screenshot that I, got it from the Google. See, this is employee master data. So I just, guys, mute. Okay. So see, this is the employee master data file where everything about the date, employee is mentioned. What is his date of designation, which leave, designation, classification. So in case of promotion, you need to change this data. What is grading, section 9, place of hiring, car number. So did you guys see how the master data file look? And now you will understand why clerk should not be given the access. What if he changed the payroll information? See, it's not the just this information. It has other information as well. The personal information, the payroll information, the history. So everything is recorded in the employee master data file. So guys, did you understand the importance of the master data file for a company? And this is the reason as to why clerk should not be given access. What if he changes the payroll information? What if he puts his bank account, bank account information in any other employee? Okay, so he should not be given any access. Understood? Now you know what is master data file and how it actually works in an organization. Only 2 people understood. Only 2 people understood. बाकी को कुछ नहीं है. सब सो गए क्या guys? सब खाना खाने चले गए हो? एकदम मैं थोड़ा सा जागती हूँ तो इससे सबका yes 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 आवाज. ठीक है. Now understood. I hope now everybody will know what is a master data file and now they are not writing cramp answers. Okay. Now let's come to the calculations. Calculations. सबसे पहले हम सैलरी की बात करते हैं. Okay. So if we talk about the salary, so calculations में क्या complications आ सकते हैं? What do you think can be the complex thing in calculating the salary? हम salary तो fixed होती है ना, हमारे बैंक में आ जाती है. What can be the complications to calculate the salary? What was the overtime? What was the rate being used? Okay, at let's say an employee joins at the mid of month. So calculation needs to be done very properly, right? Deductions. Okay. And when I talk about the wages, clock cards. Has anyone seen clock cards? Clock cards has all the information in, out, overtime, whether it was authorized, whether it was not authorized. So this is actually, very important, the clock card, the staff cards. Why? So that we can ensure that there are no fictitious employees in the company and calculation needs to be done very, very, very properly. If it is done by the clerk, it needs to be reviewed by the senior. And along with the review, we always request for the signature. ये कोई point नहीं लिखता है. Nobody writes in their answer that whenever the review is done by the senior, signature is must because it is a proof that this review was done by the senior. So every time you write a review needs to be performed by the senior, you should also write that the signature should be done so that it is an evidence and you can test of control me. You can simply write that, signature. You will actually observe the signature being done by the senior. Now I'll show you the clock cards. See, this is the Google clock cards that I got, but I don't know how they actually use it today. But this is something that I got. So, guys, have you ever noticed in your answer where it is mentioned that clock card should be sequentially numbered? Have you seen this answer? Like, I know many of you must have crammed it and many of you must have clock cards should be sequentially numbered so that there is no sequence breakage and ensure the fictitious employees not being paid. So this is the crammed answer that everybody writes. Right? I guess many of you must have done it. So yeah. So clock card first of all have the number that is sequential number, the name of the employee, that week ending for which week it is being prepared for. See, in, out, and do you see there was one more question, the break time. You know, employees take a break time and there's no one to supervise the break. So all this needs to be, connected, how they actually take the break, and supervisor needs to see, right? CCTV does not, yeah, CCTV can be, but CCTV को उसे भी देखने के लिए, you will need to have another person जो देखे कि guest में, hall में कितने लोग आ गए. So yeah, supervisor. Supervisor is a better answer to write in case of, breaks. Supervisor should review time in, time out and see if they are following the break timings or not. See, and then finally, what is the overtime? The total wages, the taxes, the deductions. Is there any overtime? Was there any leave? So this is how the total comes out, and this is the clock card. Understood? क्लॉक कार्ड्स देख लिए सबने, सबने दर्शन कर लिए क्लॉक कार्ड्स के. अब याद रहेंगी चीजें, पता है, मतलब लिटरली नाउ यू विल नेवर फॉरगेट. क्लॉक कार्ड्स में सबसे ऊपर वो होता है, एम्प्लॉय नंबर होता है. Can you explain once more? See why they are sequentially numbered. Anybody else who would like to answer? I just explain. I just want to see. Why the clock cards are sequentially numbered? First of all, there should be no fictitious employees. Okay. Right. Fictitious employees is the biggest reason that we actually number and we see the sequence breakage. Let's say one, after one it comes three. So where's the two? Where's the second clock card? So there may be, there may be a chance that it may get lost, right? So there is a chance that we don't pay that employee. So in order to prevent that overpayment, underpayment, we just keep the numbers that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, right? It is not that 1, 2, 3, 4, the number needs, obviously it's different, but yeah. Okay, now let's move on to the payments. Payments, first of all, when it comes to the salary, of course, it should be done through the bank transfer, and इसमें आता है the list of, list is getting approved by the finance director and he checks the totals. He does not see the individual employees being paid. So what is the deficiency here? If the finance director is only checking the totals and he's not checking the individuals in the list. Guys, did you see the deficiency that, sometimes what happens, a list is presented to the finance director where each employee given the total and he just checks the total. Okay, done, approved. So in this list, there is a possibility that a fictitious employee is being involved. Okay. Yeah, even there is a possibility that an individual amount is being, but yeah, the major is that fictitious employees is being included. Okay. Now, when it comes to the wages, we give pay packets. Now, the pay package should only be handled to the employee after the ID proof check, which should consist of a photo. Okay, so you should verify the ID before handling the pay package to the employee in order to ensure that every employee receives it and correct employee receives it. Okay. सबने ही देखा है? Okay, so this was the major part of the payroll system, and this is how the questions actually comes up in your paper. I'll show you the payroll system. See, this was the screenshot that I got in the payroll system, how everything is calculated. Have anyone, read that question that there's a deficiency that can come, that a clerk is assigned, clerk is given the duty to enter the data in the payroll system and it is not being reviewed. So what will happen? Again, he maybe is entering data on Monday after a hangover, after a Sunday party, and he make a human errors. Okay, so there is a possibility. So it should be reviewed by a senior, right? So review is very important. He may add fictitious entry. He may add, yeah, fraud and error. You can, favorable person. Yeah, he may end up writing more rates to the favorable to his family, to his friends, instead of dates that should be done. Finally, wage payment. This is how the payroll system looks like. Okay. Now let's do the okay. Now first of all, let's read the notes where I am in the notes. ये सब हो गया है. This is all done. This is all done. This is how to write a good answer. I have documented it here. You can refer it to it after the class. Okay. And finally, let's do the question. I will not solve the question. I will discuss it. You will be the one who will be telling me all the answers because this is based on the payroll and I have explained each and every point now. So what is the question here? This is a bronze company question which tells you to identify 5 internal control deficiency. What needs to be written in deficiency? What points do I need to write in the first column? What's wrong से स्टार्ट करेंगे. सबसे पहले क्या लिखते हैं? Identification, explanation, and the impact on entity. Right. What you will write on recommendation? Effect मत बोलो, पूरा बोलो. मतलब try to complete your sentences. Impact on entity. Okay. Control recommendation. What actually needs to be done? Test of control. Again, as mentioned yesterday as well, things remain same. Okay. Good. So all those who are answering no, I know you guys are making notes and you are keeping it track. This will actually help you a lot. Okay. Now, I will not discuss full question. This can be done very easily since I have discussed, everything in the payroll department. But yeah, let's see the first para. As I mentioned, first para is very important due to two reasons. There, I will get to know about the dates. I will get to know whether there's a new client or not. Especially when it comes to the risk question, it is actually telling me whether materiality is already being calculated in the question or do I need to calculate with the PBIT or the asset. Okay. Now, it is the 1st July. You are the audit supervisor in the Scarlet company and you are the you are in the process of reviewing the system. Testing completed on the payroll cycle of bronze industry. ठीक है, तो आपको introduction में कभी-कभी ये पता चल सकता है, you will get to know whether the question is about what, okay, which system they are talking about. Sometimes in the first para, they will highlight it. For example, इधर साफ-साफ बोला हुआ है कि payroll cycle से related है question. As well as preparing the audit programs for the final audit for the year ending. तो मेरा year ending client का क्या है? 31st July. Now, bronze operates several chemical processing factories. Yeah, I'm only reading question. Come on. Okay, English. Okay, bronze operates several chemical processing factories across the country. It manufactures 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and employees work a standard shift of 8 hours. So many standard shift is 8 hours and are paid for hours worked on hourly rate. Okay. Factory employees are paid weekly with an approximate 80% by the bank and 20% in cash. The different payments method are due to employer preferences. So employees, factory workers are getting paid in the bank and in the 20% in the cash. Bros have no plan to change these methods. The admin and the sales teams are paid monthly by the bank transfer. Is there any deficiency that you can highlight? $20 cash, why is it that deficiency? No, there's no deficiency. Guys, this is the reason I asked this question. It is not necessary that every para has a deficiency. Okay, so do not read that para, just for the sake of finding out the deficiency, just like you said 20% cash. What is the issue here? The employee likes to be paid in cash, the employee prefers to be paid in cash, and as a company, you pay it. Okay, so there is no deficiency. Okay, now factory staff are each issued a sequentially numbered clock cards. अब सबको याद रहेगा, ठीक है? which details their employee number and name. मैम ये भी दिखाई थी आपने. Employees swipe their cards at the beginning and at the end. Okay, and this process is not supervised. मुझे deficiency दिख गई. So the word not, maybe, these are certain, kick mark. There are certain hints that this is something not going wrong, something not going correct. Okay. So this process is not supervised. During the shift, employees are entitled to have a 30-minute paid break and do not need to clock in and clock out. So how many deficiencies in this particular para? Two. The first deficiency was the process of swiping the card in and out was not supervised. So what is the deficiency? How will you explain it? Come on. What is the deficiency if that process is not being supervised? Guys, come on, yaar. I am not giving answer. You need to give me the answer as to what is the deficiency if my swipe in and swipe out card is not monitored. Okay. Now what will happen even if the employee is not present, somebody would swipe in their cards, right? So this is the word proxy that somebody used in the beginning of the lecture, right? So what will happen if there would be more swiping as compared to the employees that are present? It will increase my payroll cost. Now, what is the recommendation? What should actually be done? I know supervision should be done. I cannot complete my answer by saying that supervision should be done. How will you write that in the exam? They will get full, yes. This is what you have mentioned for the, left column. See, for an Indian, the easiest is tamasha देखो, ठीक है? Being an Indian, it's like tamasha देखो. तो supervisor को रखेंगे, put a supervisor, ठीक है? And first of all, randomly, he will check, okay? And secondly, he will confirm it visually that, that employee is present in the organization, is present at that moment if he has swiped the card. Okay, so tamasha dekhna is the easiest come over here. You go and observe if he's present, and who will do it? A supervisor. Okay, he will be the one who will take a, and who will check the employee first that who is swiping the card, and randomly he will observe that yes, he is present. Right? Now the second deficiency, do not need to clock in, clock out for the break. Now guys, tell me, if let's say you work in a Google company and Google give you such luxury life, and let's say not just Google, any company gives you luxury life, so nobody would like to work, right? There has to be a time period for the breaks, right? So there has to be a time where you will be actually monitoring what is their break in and break out, right? So what is the deficiency? What will happen if this control is not in place? They will take excess break, right? And what it will lead to? I need to talk in terms of cash, profits, revenue, goodwill. This would lead to the increased payroll cost for the company. Obviously, the productivity will fall, right? Because half of the employees will be on break, right? So what should be done? What should be done? There should be a supervisor. So you cannot simply write that there should be a supervisor. You should mention clearly there should be a supervisor who will ensure that actually, who will ensure that the breaks are taken on timely basis. Okay. See, fines implementation is a huge step, right? For that, you need a lot of other things to be in place. Placing a supervisor on their role is the easiest task and the easiest recommendation that you can give in an exam. Okay. Now, Rest of the question can be done by you, or you want me to do it, because see, everything is getting repeated. Either in this particular thing they are talking about the bonus, so we discussed about the bonus. If I look at glance and see, either they will talk about the payment, payroll and HR department appointment of temporary staff are done by the supervisor. So of course we will write it should be done by the HR department, right? For employees. So this is something that is being again repetitive, and this can be done by you. And I would request you to complete the question. Wait, just let me stop the recording and then we'll do the Q&A, okay? So thank you guys for attending today's session. We'll see you tomorrow in substantive testing procedures, substantive procedures tomorrow for the day 3 of double it.